The experience of Kochi-Muziris Biennale is definitely not just the art installations and not just the sketches and the drawings. It's also about those cafes. It's also about those random conversations with strangers, and it's also about the walks on the streets of Fort Kochi, Matanjiri, and however you plan to go to Wellington Island and loiter around the streets. And it's definitely also about the Janka rides and the water metro. All of this put together gives you a very comprehensive experience. And not to forget the workshops which are held in the water metro or in the Bastion bungalow. But if you do not have so much of a time, and today being the last day of the Binale, there are top five venues that I would like to recommend to you. The first one being the Aspen Wall House. This is by an Indian, a Thrissur born Indian based in Amsterdam now. It's supposed to be a sensorial experience.
Embodied astrological forces. This knowledge underlies early medical systems as well as modern.
Matthew Krishano's paintings are very impressive for me. She said it reminds me of home, places that I grew up in, environs that I grew up in. Reminds me of my grandmother sitting there, and I have an exact, almost exact painting of Jesus Christ. At least something that reminds me, something that my mother painted. Throughout the Biennale, there were installations, pieces of art, sketches, drawings that were difficult to comprehend. You would look at them and wonder what was in the artist's mind. And that's okay. The whole intention of this Biennale or any art fest is probably to slow us down and to be there in that space and time.
Colonial broadcasting infrastructure, mostly colonial pedagogy, naturally
The next main venue of the Biennale is the Pepper House. Look around and you would see that this location is pretty familiar. Yes, I later realized that this is where the movie Premam was shot. Lovely place to chill and sit for a bit. But on the last day of the Biennale, maybe you shouldn't do that because there's lots to explore at this venue.
Dio chiama sì, e nel
You can now proceed through the streets of Fort Cochin towards Matanjiri. The top two places to visit here would be the Anand warehouse and the BMS warehouse. The day that we visited, it was Eid and there was a holiday. Some of the venues were shut, but otherwise, Cube Art Spaces is definitely a must visit. There were spooky installations both at Fort Kochi and Matanjiri, and I loved them. I was reading about the works of Sister Malu Joy from the CMC convent at Angamali, a BFA graduate. She's got both drawings and sculptures exhibited, and all of this will go back to the convent after the Muziris Biennale. What I loved about her work of art is that it was all from daily life, people that she interacted with, her situations, conversations, so neatly, beautifully brought to life. At the SMS hall, I found the works of Aditya Putur. He had two themes of work. One was concerning the body, second one was concerning the mind, and specifically sleep paralysis. You could now take the water metro or the ferry. I would recommend the water metro, though there could be a little bit of waiting, and then get to the Wellington Island. This is the third venue of the KMB, and there is just one warehouse for you to visit, and this is exactly near the water metro. So you save a lot of time that could otherwise be spent in walking. Aspinwall, Pepper House, BMS Warehouse, Anand Warehouse, which also is near the SMS Hall. If you get time, explore the Cube Art, which I couldn't, and then head to the Wellington Island Warehouse. And then, if you still have time, you could plan the Arman Collective Cafe, which has also got some art exhibits. In case you don't have time to savor the art exhibits, you can still sip on some coffee, enjoy the seaside views, get some Pinteresty pictures. Hope you enjoyed this. Like, share, subscribe if you did. Take care.